Howdy. So today I'm going to review this Inateck BCST 50 handheld scanner, and this is a nice scanner. I mean, in terms of functionality, what the scanner can do, it can scan 1D barcodes, which are sort of the barcodes we're all familiar with. It can also scan the newer 2D barcodes, such as the one shown on this package here. So that's a 2D barcode right there. 1D barcode, as I mentioned, is these types of barcodes here. And the other thing is that this scanner is wireless. It's chargeable. You can use it with a USB cord if you want, but otherwise you can recharge it. And it does both Bluetooth connection, which is what I'll show, and it also can be connected using a wireless dongle that comes with it. So this would be a standard wireless dongle. I don't tend to like those things. You know, it uses up a USB port. They're sort of annoying to me, and since all laptops have Bluetooth now, I'll stick with Bluetooth. So you're seeing everything that comes in the package right here. You got the box, you got the USB cable, you got the scanner itself, you got the dongle over here, you have a reference card here, and you have the manual here. And the manual is actually important to keep. I'll get to that in a minute. The USB cable is a standard USB USB A connector on that side, and you got the USB B connector on the other side, and it plugs into this at this end. So when you plug it in right in the bottom there. Okay. I mentioned that it's important to keep this manual, and why is that? Because everything you do in terms of programming this scanner actually is done, interestingly enough, using scanning of barcodes. So if you go in this manual, you'll see you have all these different barcodes. You have this barcode for particular type of, this HID functionality, which is for Macs. Here's the two codes you have to scan in order to put it in Bluetooth pairing mode. Down here, you have the mode whether you want it to be in Bluetooth or using that wireless dongle. Language settings here. Settings for prefix or suffix to what you scan in are there. Now we're getting into the more, specific for particular people. Transmission speed, so you have normal, and then you have slower speeds if you're having trouble, if your information's not going very well, getting imported very well. Here we have the ability to delete some of the characters on output, and this tells you how many characters you want to delete, 1 to 4. And then you have just a list of some of the barcodes that you would normally use, how long the thing would turn until the thing turns itself off automatically. Now, this is kind of cool in its way, but it's also kind of annoying, right? Because you got to keep this manual or find the manual, find it online. I'm sure it's online somewhere. But you need those barcodes. There's no way you could program or modify the settings of this scanner except if you have these barcodes, so keep those safe. All right, so what I'm going to do first, and they give us a little reference card here to do this, so I'm going to get away from that manual. This reference card also has some of the scan stuff you need to do. In particular, I'm going to put it in Bluetooth pairing mode, so that means I click there, I'm going to scan there, and then scan there. So I'm going to pick up the scanner. Okay. All right, so now I've scanned those two, and you see that the flashing light at the top of it means we're in Bluetooth pairing mode. So now we're going to go over to the computer, and we're going to pick the settings button down here. We're going to go to devices. Now we're going to go add a Bluetooth device. Bluetooth. And now it's looking for devices. And it sees it right there. So we're going to click on that. And now you heard the beep, and we're done. Your device is ready to go. Great. So done there, and we can exit out of this. And all right, so now we're Bluetooth connected to my machine. I'm not going to set any of the other settings. I'm good with defaults on those. So the next thing we want to do is, at this point, we want to open a text document so we can see what happens when you do that. All right, so now I have opened up a text document on the Windows machine, and now I'm going to go over and I'm going to show you how scanning in some of these barcodes works. So I've got this box here. It has 3 barcodes on it, sort of like what you normally see when you have electronics. You know, they have the serial number and all that. So if I take this gun, you'll see that you see the red spot. So I scan the second number there. I scan the 3rd number there. And let's bring it down to the 1st. Little tricky getting that top one. So, okay, so now I got the first one. So this is the same thing you see when the cashiers try to ring up your box at Best Buy when it has 3 barcodes. It's basically sometimes it's hard to get that barcode you want. You might need to put your hand over it to focus on it. But I've managed to get the barcodes now. If I go over here, you can see we got the barcodes there. So the 3rd one is the UPC. We also got the serial number there. And then we have the model number and so on. So those are the 3 barcodes that have been scanned in there. I scanned that one UPC number 3 times because, as I said, it was a little tough to get the focus on the one barcode you want, but that's typical for any of these scanners. Now I've turned the box over, and you'll see the box has this 2D UPC there. Those should look familiar. If I want to scan that, I scan it, and we go over here, and you can see that 2D barcode has translated into a URL, which is now entered as text in here. So it's working really nicely. I have no complaints about this. Very nice functionality. The wireless functionality is nice. I'm very happy with the Bluetooth. Whether it holds up over the long term, I can't tell you, but from initially coming out of the box, this is really nice, and it's a nice step up from the old scanner, which I've owned for a number of years, which is only does the 1D barcodes, and more importantly is not wireless. So this looks pretty good, and thanks for listening.